Hey everyone, before we get to the Hazbin Hotel review, just want to remind you that my new book, Rogue Shadeblade, is out now. It's available on Amazon in Kindle, paperback, and in hardcover. Check it out. It's basically, best way to describe it is Deadpool meets D&D. What happens to a man who doesn't know what's going on as he tries to find himself with his mind basically being his biggest enemy. So go check it out. Link is in the description below. How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Is yours truly, Connor, aka Super Nerd CM613, and it's time to gather around because today's video we're going to be talking about Hazbin Hotel Season 1, or as I like to call it, what if BoJack Horseman took a shot at Broadway glitter, moved to hell, and then got sucker punched by a Disney princess with daddy issues? Now, before I dive deep into the fire pit, I want you to understand something. This isn't your standard TV breakdown. This is Deadpool Goes to College, which basically means you're going to get equal parts character analysis, plot breakdown, thematic dissection, and jokes so bad that even Husk would want to groan. So strap in, sinners. We're about to take a redemption roller coaster ride through hell. So let's talk about what is the deal with this hotel anyway. So the show kicks off with none other than Charlie Morningstar, Princess of Hell and proud owner of the kind of optimism usually reserved for kindergarten teachers on Adderall. She's got this big idea. Instead of heaven swooping in every year with exterminations, they've been pest control for the damned. Why not rehabilitate demons? Yeah, she basically wants to build hell's first rehab/holiday inn. It's noble, it's adorable, and it's also about as realistic as becoming Pope. That's the genius of it. Hazbin Hotel asks, what if even the worst people deserved a second chance? And can you save them in an environment that actively punishes hope? And there, friends, is our big fancy theme: redemption versus evil. The show constantly pokes at the question, are demons doomed because of what they've done, or can they truly change? And spoiler alert, the answer is complicated, like Alistair's smile looking complicated. But anyway, let's take a look at each breakdown of each character first and foremost. Let's start, of course, with Charlie Morningstar's image, or the Disney Princess of Hell. Charlie is basically the heart of the show. She's a little demon princess who believes in rehabilitation, and not because it's easy, but because she's stubborn enough to think that even the most broken creatures deserve hope. Picture Belle from Beauty and the Beast if she ditched the Beast and said, you know what, I'm fixing the entire village. She's constantly underestimated, laughed at, and dismissed, and yet she keeps going on. Charlie's arc in Season 1 isn't about winning. It's about surviving failure after failure without giving up. And that, right, friends, that's redemption energy fully right there. But let's talk about Vaggie, the girlfriend, the bodyguard, and necessarily the voice of reason, aka Knife Mom. Charlie's girlfriend, Vaggie, is a resident realist. She loves Charlie, but she's not delusional. She knows hell is dangerous and brutal, and she doesn't exactly trust the hotel's guests to suddenly embrace the 10 Commandments. Her skepticism balances Charlie's hope. If Charlie was the dreamer, Vaggie is the one who makes sure the dreamer doesn't get shanked off in an alley somewhere. She doesn't believe in redemption the same way, but her faith in Charlie becomes her own path towards change. Then we look ahead to one of my favorite characters, Angel Dust, the walking billboard for, hey, it's complicated. Angel Dust is really the most compelling case study in Season 1. He's flamboyant, sarcastic, addicted to the chaos, and yet his trauma seeps through every scene. He's stuck in an abusive cycle with Valentino, his pimp/boss/giant pile of sleaze. Angel's redemption is slow motion. He's the guy who wants to change but doesn't quite know how. And the hotel, despite being a disaster zone, gives him something he's never had: support. His arc isn't finished, but you can see first glimmers of maybe I can be better, and something we might explore in the second season. Angel is the gray area between good and evil. He's proof that demons aren't just their sins, and that's the point. Redemption isn't clean. It's messy, it's painful, and occasionally, in his case, it's also covered in glitter. But one of the other big bad boys in this entire cast of cavalcades is, of course, Alistair, the creepiest jazz hands that you'll ever see. Oh boy. Alistair, the radio demon. Imagine the Joker if he got trapped in a 1920s Broadway station and decided to do an open mic night in hell. He's terrifying, he's hilarious, and entirely uninterested in redemption. He joins Charlie's project because he's bored. Let that sink in. And yet, Alistair stays. But why? That's the million-dollar question. His presence is like inviting Hannibal Lecter to group therapy. He knows the central theme into chaos. Can redemption succeed if one of your helpers doesn't believe in it at all? Or is Alistair secretly testing Charlie to see if her dream has any teeth? But on the flip side, there are some other fun little side characters and cast. We have, of course, Husk, Nifty, and some others. Husk, of course, is the alcoholic cat demon who gave up on life 1,000 years ago. And Nifty is basically what happens when you feed ADHD pixie dust to a maid. They're smaller characters, sure, but they help flesh out the world. Hell is full of lost causes, and each one could maybe be redeemable if Charlie could keep them from killing each other first. But then, of course, there's the V's, Hell's true power trio. You got Vox, you got Valentino, and you've got Velvet. These three are less supporting characters and more the corporate board of evil, and they're gearing up to be the main antagonists of season 2. If Charlie's Hotel represents redemption, the V's represent exploitation, corruption, and power-hungry branding. Vox is basically Alistair's nemesis, where Alistair is old-time radio, Vox is modern technology, TV screen, static, neon overload, the works. The rivalry isn't just personal, it's thematic. Alistair thrives on tradition, while Vox feeds on the future. Season 2 is shaping up to put their clash front and center like a demonic version of radio versus the video killed the star battle royale. Now, Valentino is Angel Dust's nightmare in the flesh. He's not just a villain, he's the embodiment of Angel's trauma. Their toxic relationship is at the heart of Angel's arc, and season 2 will likely push it further. Will Angel finally break free, or will Valentino tighten the leash? Spoiler alert, if redemption is about facing your demons, Angel literally has to face his. And Velvet is the queen of social media aesthetics, polished, curated, and cruel. Her rumored feud with Carmela Carmine, a diva in her own right, could show how Hell's entertainment industry mirrors the nastiness of Hollywood. It's a fight about image, influence, and who gets control of the narrative. If redemption is about authenticity, Velvet is the mask that hides the rot. Together, the V's embody the system that Charlie is fighting against. Now, they're not just the villains, they're the machine that makes redemption feel impossible. Now, let's take a little bit breakdown of each episode in and of itself, at least the road so far, from redemption or to doom. Now, we're going to stroll through these season ones, not really too, breaking them down, each bit by bit, but let's take a look at overall. So episode 1, Charlie sings, dances, and begs Hell to take her seriously. Spoiler, it doesn't. But hey, she gets Angel Dust as her first client, and Alistair decides to join because chaos is in his cardio. Boom! Hotel officially opens for business. Episodes 2 and 3, you enter in Valentino and Angel's trauma plotline. This is where the redemption theme stops being theoretical and really gets personal. Can Angel escape abuse? Can he want better for himself? The show isn't shy about showing how heartbreaking cycles of exploitation really is. Episodes 4 through 6, the hotel gains a lot more attention. Not everyone's happy. Rivalries in Hell heat up. Charlie's optimism gets tested, and Alistair does his cryptic "I know something you don't know" smirk about like 800 bajillion times. And then finally, episodes 7 through 8, the finale, Heaven enters in stage left, led by Adam, who is basically a One Direction reject with a god complex. The exterminators arrive, slaughtering demons in the name of justice, and then suddenly the line between good and evil isn't necessarily so clear. Heaven's holy extermination looks more like genocide, and Charlie realizes that redemption isn't just about saving demons, it's about challenging the system itself. But here's the kicker, folks. Hazbin Hotel sets up a morality buffet where nothing as simple as good guys wear white. Heaven's exterminations are brutal. Hell's demons are broken but humanized. And redemption is this slippery, fragile thing that feels impossible, but it's still worth chasing. The show argues that the evil isn't just about sin, it's about giving up on change. And good? Well, good just might as well be just another word for the ones holding the power. Charlie's mission is radical because it rejects that binary. She's not saying hell is good now. She's saying hell can become better. That's the kind of hope that gets you killed in almost most dystopias, but Hazbin Hotel, it's the only hope that really matters. All right, let's talk about Heaven for a quick second here, because, that place is supposed to be all halos and harp music, but honestly, it seems more like a corporate bureaucracy run by morally questionable interns. Season 1 teases us with Adam, the one-time golden boy of Heaven, now dead, and Lute, his right-hand angel with just enough attitude to make you wonder if she's the true brains behind the pearly gates. By the end of season 1, Luke confronts a mysterious woman rumored to be Charlie's mother. Cue dramatic tension plus 100. This moment hints at a deeper personal stakes. Heaven isn't just an abstract antagonist. It's a system with connections, vendettas, and secrets that directly affect Charlie's mission. And if the leaks are right, Adam may not be gone entirely. Instead, his voice could linger in Lute's head, pushing, manipulating, or even trolling her. Imagine Lute trying to command Heaven's forces while hearing Adam's snarky commentary echoing in her skull. Redemption suddenly becomes a lot whole messier, and not just for the demons, but for the angels too. Enter Serpentius, the slithery, over-the-top, snake-like villain who looked like Saturday morning cartoon material but somehow left an impression. He was humiliated, beaten, and left rolling in his own failures by the end of season 1, But what if that's just Act 1? Season 2 could resurrect him as a wild card in heaven or hell, forcing him into situations where he has to reflect on his failures. This is where Hazbin Hotel flips the redemption concept on its head. If a ridiculous villain like Penchas can be challenged to change, then redemption isn't reserved for tragic heroes or noble princesses. It's a chaotic, slippery concept that can touch anyone, no matter how absurd. Now, combined, Adam, Lute, and Sir Penchas show that heaven isn't inherently good and hell isn't inherently evil. Lute's internal tug of war, Adam's lingering influence, and Penchas's potential redemption path all reinforce the idea that morality is messy, change is possible, and the line between good and evil is less a line and more of a circus tightrope over a pit of lava. And yes, it's all absolutely hilarious. But let's talk about one of my favorite parts of the entire season of the show and everything in and of itself, the elephant in the room, or rather the demon with the microphone. The songs, because if Hazbin Hotel just was just edgy animation or dark humor, it'd still be good, but the music, that's what cranked this thing up from fun web series to shut up, I'm making a playlist on my Spotify right this second. The songs aren't just filler or flashy Broadway cosplay. They are the heartbeat of the show. Every number reveals character depth, pushes the plot, and gives you the most sweet, sweet goosebumps that make you forget you're technically rooting for Hell's Most Wanted. Take Loser Baby, one of my personal favorites. It's snarky, catchy, and basically Angel Dust's entire personality distilled into a 3-minute bop. It's the kind of song that makes you want to blast at karaoke at night just to see which one of your friends accidentally admits that they also feel like a loser sometimes. Spoiler, it's most likely most of them. But then there's also the song Poison, another top-tier track that shows off just how sharp and stylish Hazbin Hotel's music can get. It oozes with charisma, danger, and swagger, and it's the kind of song that you strut into when you're walking into work late, but pretending it's on purpose. But honestly, picking favorites just feels almost impossible because every single song slaps in its own way. Each track feels crafted not just as an entertainment, but as storytelling. Alistair's sinister melodies, Charlie's hopeful ballads, Angel's cheeky anthems all dig deeper into the theme of redemption and blur the line between good and evil. Music in Hazbin Hotel isn't an accessory, it's the soul of the show. And here's the thing, this is the series that got me deeper into musicals and musical storytelling in general. I always enjoyed music, but Hazbin Hotel made me feel the power of songs driving narrative. It reminded me a lot of how another series, K-pop Demon Hunters, cracked open the same door for me, where musical numbers weren't just flashy intermissions, but full-on emotional punches. And the fact that I can't stop replaying these tracks makes me even more hyped for season 2, because if the story doesn't already have me hooked as it does, then the promise of even more music, more anthems, more character ballads, more singing demons in hell, but somehow I could relate to these moments, seals the deal. And season 2 could drop, any minute now. I mean, I know it's coming out at the end of the month, and I'd be there with headphones ready to cry, laugh, and badly sing along. Hell, as of this recording, one song has already been leaked or released, I should say, by the wonderful creatives at Hazbin Hotel for the second season. And just giving you the spoiler ahead, I've been listening to it the entire week, and everybody hates me for it. But anyway, let's actually talk about it. Let's talk gossip. Let's talk about season 2 being on the horizon, and I cannot wait. Let's talk about some possible theories that could be heading into season 2 as it drops later this month. The first one I mentioned before is Adam's not completely done. Yeah, he's dead. It's confirmed. He's done. He's toast. It's absolutely, he's finito. But if the leaks are right, Adam may not be completely gone. Instead, he can live on as a lingering voice inside Lute's head, which honestly is scarier than him showing up in person. Imagining Lute trying to lead Heaven's charge while hearing her old boss's snarky commentary in her skull. That kind of psychological warfare could make Heaven even more ruthless and chaotic. Now, Alistair's backstory is also a big thing that I've heard might get explored a little bit more in this one. Now, VivziePop didn't drop a character as rich and horrifying as Alistair just to leave him as creepy comic relief. Season 2 has already teased to dig into his past life, what made him so powerful, and why he really joined Charlie's cause. Plus, with Vox on the rise, expect their clash to go from creepy banter to all-out warfare, verbal, visual, and maybe even a bit musical. I have heard some rumors that one episode is supposed to entail a massive fight between Vox and Alistair, with songs sprinkled in between, and I am all on board. Now, for Angel Dust, also redemption arc, all signs point to Angel being the hotel's very first success story, and I truly believe that. Breaking from Valentino, finding his voice, and maybe even proving to himself that he deserves love. Yeah, that's season 2 material right there, especially if his fight with Valentino escalates into something brutal and final. And considering we've seen some teases that we're going to have some sort of physical altercation between Angel Dust and Vox at some point in the season, I think it's more likely going to happen this season than anywhere else. But also, Heaven ain't so holy. We're going to see probably more of Heaven. It's not going to be very pretty. If exterminations and exterminators are that ruthless, what else is hiding behind those pearly gates? With Adam gone and Luke potentially cracking under the ghostly influence, season 2 could flip the redemption narrative entirely by showing Heaven as the true villain. But now let's also point over to Lucifer Morningstar. That's Charlie's dad, the devil himself. He's been teased, and we saw a good chunk of him in season 1, but season 2 is where he's likely to make a much bigger impact. His relationship with Charlie could either strengthen her mission or completely shatter it, because nothing says therapy like arguing with your dad about saving souls while he sips wine made out from sinners' tears. There is some possible speculation based upon some of the teasers that we saw that maybe Lucifer could be under mind control under Vox, which that could be very intriguing in terms of Lucifer's relationship with Heaven. Either way, I think Lucifer being fleshed out a little bit more here in terms of his impact on everything, bigger picture, could be a whole heck of a lot of fun. But speaking of Heaven itself, here's the real kicker. Teasers and leaks suggest that basically Vox is ready to rally hell for an all-out war with Heaven. Why? Well, because the dirty little secret is out. Angels can bleed and angels can die. And Vox, being the opportunistic overlord that he is, won't waste a second turning that into propaganda fuel. And add Alistair's freshly explored backstory to the mix, we might see Hell's power struggle ignite into something apocalyptic. Now, I'm really looking forward to this the most. It's kind of interesting to see a lot of people, especially with teasers and stuff coming in for season 2. Vox was seeming more like a background character in season 1, but I'm very, very excited for him to really take center stage as the main antagonist for season 2. I can't wait. Visually, Vox is probably one of my favorites in terms of his design and style. And being, as I mentioned before, radio versus visual, or radio versus TV, I mean, it just fits. Now, on the flip side of that, a little couple, things on the side here. Velvet and Carmela Carmine. Now, Velvet's drama with Carmela Carmine could reshape Hell's public image entirely. If Vox is Hell's war general, then Velvet's the PR queen, making sure that the chaos goes viral. So expect Carmela to throw some shade and maybe some fireballs right back at her. Now, let's break down real quick the final thoughts overall on the show. So Hazbin Hotel Season 1 is not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. It's chaotic, it's messy, and occasionally feels like a fever dream in a musical form, but that's exactly what makes it brilliant. It dares to take hell, the place of eternal punishment, and ask, what if even here there's hope? Charlie's Hotel is doomed to fail 100 times over, but the point of success, but the point isn't the success rate. The point is the fight. Redemption isn't easy, it isn't clean, it's hell. Hazbin Hotel makes us believe that it still might be worth it. But season 2, that's going to be a big test. Will redemption survive Heaven's wrath, Alistair's games, and Angel Dust's struggles, or will the hotel collapse in flames? Either way, I'm grabbing my popcorn because there's one thing this show's proved, it's that Hell's has a better musicals up than Heaven, that's for sure. I'm looking forward to season 2 dropping later on this month, and honestly, overall, season 1 was just an absolute delight. I loved everything about it, and there's very few things I have too much to complain about, but ultimately, I want to hear your thoughts on this. Let me know your thoughts on season 1 of Hazbin Hotel, what you liked about it, favorite characters, moments, songs, and rumored plot points for season 2. Chances are I will, if this video gets enough interaction, likes, and whatnot, I will do a season 2 review of Hazbin Hotel. So let me know your thoughts down in the comment section, all over the social media. You guys know the whole dealio. It's yours truly, Super Nerd CM613, wrapping it up, and we'll see you guys next time for the next video. But until then, peace out, y'all.